Well, good morning, folks. My name is Gay Corey, Bob Corey behind the camera, and we're over here with the Open Space Committee, and we're going to show you another trail yet. I think we've covered like about 5 trails so far. We went to Proprietor's Way, Tranquility Way. Where else did we go? Crossroad.
Dennis McNamara
Dennis McNamara Way.
East Richardson Preserve.
East Richardson Preserve. And how many are there total? I'm sorry. I can't ask Karen questions. She says, don't ask me anything.
You have the official definitive count, right?
Yeah, Bruce will tell us for sure.
Okay, Bruce, you
Well,
tell us.
You know, there are, on our brochure we list 9 sites. One of them is really the Drake Land Trust site. That's the one, the Tranquility Trail. And the others are all, the other site is the Drake Tingsbury State Forest, which is actually managed by the Department of Conservation and Recreation. But we list those there because they're all part of Drake, it's open space.
Oh, will we be venturing up that way too? And don't we have Long Pond?
We do have Long Pond, right?
Yeah. We have a few we haven't been to yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, see, the summer's not over yet, folks, so we can still get those boats out. All right, so this is the Nickel Brook Mine Conservation Area, and we're on Bonham Avenue in Drake. And Bruce is our fearless leader today, and he's going to be telling us all about the mine. So give me a little history here, please.
Well, sure. First, the misnomer. This is neither Nickel Brook nor is it a mine. Nickel Brook is further up that way. No, that's true. We call it Nickel Brook Mine.
I was going to say.
However,
Did I make that up?
No, Nickel Brook is up that way, and the mine is up that way.
Oh,
but this
okay.
is the Nickel Brook Mine, conservation area that we have in Drake.
I'm going to swing around this way. So why did they? Was it actually mined at one time?
Yes, there was mining here going back to, well, the first indication of any type of mine was about 1705. They were doing surveys, and the hill was named Nickel Mine Hill and Nickel Mine. So there was some indication that there was some mining done. The first official mine was Joseph Bonham and Joseph East in let's check my dates here. 1726. They formed a partnership. However, Joseph East sold his partnership 2 years later. Joseph Bonham sold his partnership very shortly after that. So no mining was done, even though they created a partnership for mining. The other people that owned it between then and when Joseph Bradley Barnum got it back did no mining. Joseph Bradley Barnum did some mining, mined iron ore, and made cannonballs for the Revolutionary War. So there is a little bit of in the Barnum family register of getting some money in 1777 for making cannonballs.
So the name Nickel, is it actually, did they mine nickel?
Yes. Well, nickel was thought to be on this mine. In 1876, a mining company did an assay, and they were told that they could get about 400 pounds of nickel a day out of the mine, plus sulfuric and other chemicals. They actually built mining buildings. They built, they dug a shaft 63 feet deep, but they got no nickel out of it.
Oh.
So they shut down pretty quickly. The buildings decayed and fell in upon themselves.
Oh. Now, what did they use the nickel for? Do we know?
They never got nickel out.
Oh, they never really got nickel out.
Yeah, so
They got dimes.
they did get iron ore, right? So that's what we know about the nickel mine. So it was mined, but never got nickel out of it. And the only profitable piece was...
Hence the name, really.
The only profitable piece was Joseph Bonham making cannonballs for the Revolutionary War.
And that's exciting.
Yep.
Now, I know we have a gentleman over here who kind of grew up in this neighborhood, and he's got some pretty interesting stories. This is Tom. Tom, want to come forward here for a little bit and tell us how the neighborhood was?
It's always been like this. There were less houses back then, but there's a foundation at the end of the trail that belonged to a gentleman named Mr. Monfett, and he used to sharpen knives and saws, and he had a mailbox at the bottom of Jackson Street where you'd leave your stuff, and he'd come and get it and fix it and give you a bill, and you'd leave the money.
Oh, did he put it back in the mailbox?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a little different back then.
That's an honor system.
Yeah.
That's nice. So how long were you in this neighborhood?
I grew up here, so 60 odd years.
Wow. So I imagine you've ventured into this woods a
Oh
few
yeah,
times.
yeah, every season.
Yeah. Anything that you can give us highlights on? Or?
Well, I don't know the exact trail that you guys use, but there's extensive trails. You can go out to the power lines and follow it all the way to Londonderry.
Wow. Well, we're not going that far, are we?
Talk about the blueberries.
Oh, there's lots of There used to be the entire hills where the power lines are used to be all blueberries, and at the end of this trail is a wetland area, and that used to be all high bush, big blueberries. But in recent years, it hasn't been as good. You know, there hasn't been as many.
So I have to ask, is that where the song came from? I got my thrill
I don't know.
on blueberry.
He's not saying anything.
But he sings silently in the woods. Yeah, I know. Well, thank you for sharing. If you can think of anything else along the way, please jump right in and let us know and say, oh, this is what happened over here, this is what happened over here. And
Okay.
feel free.
All right.
All right, I guess we're going in now. I'm trying to catch up now and avoid the roots.
Okay.
I know, that's New England, roots and rocks.
I said, I gotta take my glasses off so I don't fall.
Well, right up the way a little bit to the right, there's some fire pits. And so I was asking if he knew where they came from. And I had a speculation that they were from an old picnic area that Barnum had down here on where Lindsay's is. But the report is they were actually put into by the town about 25 years ago. They actually had a picnic area. They put in some fire pits and things of that nature. Then fallen into disrepair, but you can still see the small fireplaces there in a grove area.
Now, did they have Native Americans back here then, or was?
Well, certainly. I mean, not
imagine.
yeah. Back in the 1600s, yeah.
25 years ago?
25
Those were my
kids.
kids. Those were the Indians of the neighborhood.
So yeah, I mean, I have to look at the history. I was reading the history of Drake, and they did talk about the old Indian name that would be mispronounceable to me right now. But yeah, obviously this was a Native American area.
So, how was this trail discovered? I mean, you just drive up the street and say, "Well, that looks like a good spot to put a trail," or how does? I mean, has it been here
been here.
It's
for
been
a
here
while?
a long time.
I think the trail was here before the road was.
Oh, all right.
This access
This
is.
was all woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
pretty much.
It continued across and went down the hill to where Intervale Park is.
Okay.
But that's all private now, so.
Yeah, they do speculate, because when they did the survey back in, early 1700s, there was already an indication that, like I said, they called it Nickel Mine Hill and things. So they speculate that, there could have been some mining done back in the 1600s.
Wow.
And they feel like, coming down with the survey, with all of the metal that's up here, you would get magnetic anomalies, and so your needles would start going wacko.
Oh,
so
your
that would be,
compass went
if they're
crazy,
coming,
huh?
they're coming up the Merrimack River, is where they did their survey. They'd say, oh, there's something up this way, and they'd probably come inland to find out why their needles were going crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, forward ho. You first.
Okay.
Bruce, how long of a trail is this?
Well, the site itself is 23 acres, and it's bounded by mostly private property. So as we walk to the end of this trail, we're going to go right to the quarry. So you'll see a huge sand pit. That's and then if you go up that way, there's private land. So it's the trail. The trail itself is fairly confined to walking out and following these ATV trails.
Stay right here, yeah.
To the quarry, and then up to the foundation of the house that Tom was talking about, and then we'll just loop back. So
Okay.
about 23 acres, and you're talking less than a mile of trail.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to go walk now. I said, is there wildlife out here? And Dave says there is now. No, I imagine there would be deers or...
Oh yeah, there are. On the private property piece of this, we was walking through there, we found a deer stand.
Oh.
There is no there is no hunting allowed on town property.
Right.
So, but there are, you see people that'll set up deer stands on the other side in the on their own property.
Oh.
I've never seen anything out here more than chipmunks and squirrels myself.
Yeah.
So.
Do you ever see black squirrels?
No, not really. No, it's the. Yeah.
What is? Oh, there's the fire pit.
As we have the fire, some of the fire pits.
Here's the fire pit over here, Bob. One of them.
Just left all the big trees.
So yeah, you see there's one in there. A nice grove, would be nice for like a little
picnic.
A little picnic area.
Yeah, very nice. It's quiet here. Very quiet. The mosquitoes are not too bad.
Yeah.
They're with us, but they're not bothering
They're
us.
not bad today.
I got something.
One of the things I noticed here when I was reading through the mining, and so you look at these trees, these are all relatively new growth trees and they're relatively small. But when the Barnum and East were putting together their plans, they said they could use trees smaller than 17 inches in diameter.
Really?
So that's a pretty good sized tree when you think
Oh,
about
wow.
a diameter that's 1.5 2 feet in diameter. So.
There's somebody behind us.
So that's a pretty good sized tree. These are all relatively small trees. So these are new growth trees here. So yeah, there's a fire pit there. There's another one further on. There's a couple in here that obviously can't be used anymore.
No, I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
So you can't use them?
Well, I imagine no, they're not really set up anymore for that.
Yeah.
They're all broken down.
So how far are we in right now? Approximately.
It's probably just the 1/10 of a mile in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice walk, though.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
It's
It's not too, rocks and roots. I didn't know what to call that, but
Yeah, this we have a good clear trail. It's wide open.
all right. Well, we're on our way in a little bit further, and we did notice Donna.
Yes.
Did notice another fire pit over there that was, I think, a little more used than the one we just saw over there. But none of them are functioning right now.
Yeah, I think it's a lot older too.
Yeah.
25 years.
Oh, probably. Okay, we're gonna walk around, Bob, now. There's a lot of trees down here, but look.
Yeah.
Wonder if we counted the rings on the trees. If we'd
could.
find out how old these trees really are.
Yeah, well, it's
I mean, whoa, watch your head.
if you look, I mean, I've got a picture here that doesn't do justice.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to capture it on film, but, if you look at the area, Nickel Mine itself.
Can you see that, Bob?
I'm not sure we can see it, but you see that there's no trees at all. The thing is completely denuded.
Yeah.
Same thing up here. There's very few trees. So this is 1870. So,
Oh, wow.
Nine-
It certainly has grown up, hasn't it?
150 years ago, this was gone. These trees were all gone. And from history that this is, all of New England was basically farm.
Yeah.
So all of these, there's not really much old growth forest here. These are 100 years old, maybe. So you don't have real old trees.
Ah. Because you wonder how long they've been here. I mean,
Yeah. Well, a tree's lifetime is, 50 to 75 years for a tree is a good, then you get some of the real old stuff. You might see in the deep, you might see an old large oak. This is one of the things you have to worry about. See,
oh, the gully.
when they start chewing this stuff up, that's
Oh,
when you have
yeah.
to worry.
Yeah, you can see it.
They turn around.
Wonder if are there lady slippers in here?
Yes.
Yes.
There are.
Yeah, lady slipper season is really late May. So,
Love lady slippers.
yeah.
They're my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Yeah, if you really want to
But you never know where to find them. I mean, you see woods everywhere.
Oh, no,
but-
if you really want to do
They're
that.
back more and more.
Right.
Are they?
Yeah, yes. If you want lady slippers
I do.
and Jack in the Pulpits, we'll do something in the state forest next spring.
Okay.
And we can show you where there are 50 of them in a bundle.
Oh, I look forward to that.
So that would be, because we do a walk. We go out in the forest, my wife and I, and we'll start watching for the lady slippers and the Jack in the Pulpits. This time of year, what you're going to see is Indian pipe.
Now, what is that?
Indian pipe is
I don't know
actually looks like it could be a fungus, like a mushroom, but Indian pipe is actually a plant without chlorophyll, so it's white.
Really?
And and it shows up. It's really just stringy coming up from the surface, and that could be this time of year in the August time frame.
Oh,
So this is
where would you look for those?
just coming up through the.
Oh, just look, oh, big hill here.
This is the ATVs fun.
Oh yeah, I'll bet it is. Yeah, let's go this way.
So this is one of the ATV areas.
Yeah, I see
You
that.
know, they have jumps over here and
Yeah.
things. So we got to figure out how to manage that.
Oh, we're coming to a clearing.
This is a great sledding hill too in the winter.
Oh, in the wintertime? Yeah. Bringing flying saucers? Oh, look at that. Wouldn't that be fun, huh?
It's a lot of fun.
Going down this way, that's where Jackson Street is. That's where Tom was talking about, where they had the mailbox.
Oh, yeah.
So you know where we are. It's like, okay, it's down this way about 50 to 75 yards is the end of Jackson Street. And so there's a gate there that actually, stops people from coming on the land. But then we're going to walk this way to the foundation. You'll see how far it is to the foundation.
Oh, wow.
And this is, there's a better view over there, but this is the Brock's quarry area over
Oh, it
here.
is?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Quite a view from here.
yeah. We'll walk around. There's a more open space on the other side that you'll be able to see. But you can see now where, this is a big access area for people coming in.
Yeah.
And when you see the sand dunes over there, you'll understand why.
Well, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go check them out.
but not too bad.
We're heading to the
Up on
swamps.
hill and then we'll end up-
Karen, remember Proprietor's Way? And I had my little shoes on right into that big puddle. She goes, look at your little shoes. I was like, knee deep. I said, oh, watch out for that puddle,
So Tom was saying that this part here is not Brock's. That Brock's is,
Okay.
so this is another, owned by someone else.
Oh, all
Not
right.
the town, not Brock's.
No, you can see sand over there.
Yeah.
So that'll be Brock's over there. And when you
Wait,
get over
he's-
there, it's wide open. It looks like you're in a desert
Oh,
or desert.
dessert.
Yield them.
Look at the hole in this tree. Think something is living in there?
I don't know, but that's really neat looking.
Sort of like the Keebler's elves. Yeah, if they come up with a cookie, we're all set.
Very nice.
All right, so whereabouts are we now, Bruce?
Just on the trail.
Okay.
Walking towards the.
This is a pretty tree. That's a pine, but it's a
yeah, it's a
very
white-
feathery pine.
yeah,
It's very.
It's a white pine.
That's a white pine.
Yeah.
That's very pretty.
You can tell the white pines by the. You see, they have. Each one of these things has 5 or 6 fronds.
Oh,
on
look
it.
at that.
And yeah.
Huh? Who knew?
Resident biologist.
Yeah. Lady slippers. What do they call them? Jack-o'-lanterns or jack in the
Jack in
pulpit?
the pulpits.
Is that the same as a jack-o'-lantern?
No, no.
Oh, it isn't?
Nope. Jack in the pulpit is a little flowery. It's got 3 leaves and it's got a flower that folds over. When you
Oh.
lift the flower up, there's a pestle inside there.
Oh, that's what. And where do you find those?
The same place. When you do they come out at about the same time. The lady
Oh.
slippers and the jacks come out about the same time.
Oh, we'll have to do a show on those.
Bruce, are there fiddleheads too?
Fiddleheads. Has anybody ever eaten a fiddlehead?
No.
Delicious.
How do you cook them?
Sauté.
You saute them.
Saute them in a little butter.
Yeah.
Really?
Butter makes it.
Are they good?
Depends on how much butter you put on.
You gotta parboil them first, though.
Yeah, what do they taste like?
Kind of like asparagus.
Really? I
Yeah.
see them in the supermarket. I went,
Yeah, it's similar to
oh,
asparagus.
something I want to.
They're good.
Are they?
Yeah, I've
Tried
gotten
at
them.
least once.
I've gotten them out of this trail and made soup, fiddlehead soup.
Really?
Yeah.
You're very adventurous.
We're just going to amble right now. I think the next point of interest would be an overlook here and then the foundation.
Okay.
It's interesting to note that we have worked with Boy Scout troops on several things in the town. They've looked for projects to do, and last year they had a Citizen Day or contribute, and so they came out here en masse and did a big cleanup, and the place we're going to, there, the old foundation, there was, a leftover washer, dryer, drums, and things in the basement of the the
Wow.
foundation. They came and cleaned all that up for
Well,
us.
that's good.
So it's nice, the partnership with the Boy Scouts to come out and do things like that.
That's
so
nice.
It's all, yeah. So
It's a good project for them too.
Yeah, they do good work.
They do. I remember the bench over at McNamara Way.
Ah, yeah.
And Karen, wasn't there one at East Richardson too? Didn't they make a bench for over there?
Yep, that was one of the Eagle Scout projects.
That's what I thought. Well, the mosquitoes are staying with us, but they're really not. They're just annoying. That's the only word.
So it looks so
Wow.
Go to the right.
right.
We're going to the right.
It's less than.
How many times have you gone through here, Bruce?
Guys live down the road here?
15 or 20, I guess.
Because he knows his way around very well.
Yeah, it's a relatively small area, and the trails are fairly compact. And
Yeah.
in the committee itself, the Open Space Committee, there are 8 of us now, and we all have picked a site to do stewardship. So each one of us has one. Some people have 2 sites that they're responsible for, just walking through periodically and picking up,
Just checking.
trash and making sure, there are no trees that are down across the trails and no really large abuse going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is mine. It's really close to my house, so I kind of can come by every now and then.
Oh, so you live around here?
Yeah, close enough by
have
that
one
it's
mosquito
just,
that's just-
yeah, you were buzzed over there. You got 4 or 5 of them around
That's
your head.
great. Let's start walking. Wow, that's a big tree.
Yeah. Mud.
It's really, I thought it would be muddier in here
Yeah.
than it really is. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I expected. We did not have the rain last night that other parts of the state had, and
I think the Cape got it.
Oh yeah, they had 5+ inches in some areas. So
I've been once without it.
just we have just your basic like woodlands here. So your trees that fall just decay naturally. You've got, because you have a thick canopy, you don't have a high growth of your foresty floor. You do
Yeah.
have a lot of organics now. So you got the leaves and things. So it's pretty rich New England forest floor.
Boy, stretch those hamstrings.
Yeah.
So now where does this go? This goes straight down?
Yeah, it's just gonna go into a clearing.
Yeah.
We're pretty much at the end of our area. Once we get on the other side of the clearing, we'll go to the foundation, we'll talk, and then we'll just keep around and come right back down the same trail.
Oh,
Actually, here's some dead Indian pipe right over here.
what is it?
Indian pipe that's past its life.
Oh.
So this is Indian pipe.
Oh.
But if it's new and it's not, this is dead. But if it's new, it's all white.
Oh.
But that's what Indian pipe looks like. So it looks like a fungus, but it's actually a plant.
Oh, it's seen better days now, huh?
Yeah. So this is the house we were talking about.
Wow, look at
So
this is well hidden, isn't it?
I'll have Tom over to talk a little bit about that.
Tom, come on over. Oh, look at this, huh?
So this is the house.
Tom knows a little bit.
This was more or less its workshop.
Uh-huh.
This was one of 2 houses. The other one is further up in the woods.
Oh, wow.
But this was a real tiny place. I think he used it for when family would come and they would stay here.
Oh.
Otherwise, he just kept tools.
Okay.
Oh, it's sort of like a guest house.
Yeah, a guest shed.
Guest shed.
But it has a full foundation.
Wow.
And it had, this got pipe in here, so it did have water
Yep.
coming in at one time.
Yep.
And I said, this is the foundation that had like the old washer dryer stuff in there that the scouts cleaned out for us. So it was something active and usable for
How
not-
long ago did this cease to exist?
60s.
Oh, in the 60s?
Yeah. From
What was
I-
the reasoning for that? Did it just,
I think he died.
oh,
He died probably 1968.
oh.
So you really see what's happening from 1960 to now, how it's pretty much decayed, right? I mean, the wood is all gone. Maybe it was pulled away to use for something else, but...
They burnt it.
Okay.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, whoever these kids are, they come up here all the well. I used to when I was a kid, but we didn't burn it. We knew him. We knew the man, so
Oh. When was this house built?
I have no idea.
Oh. I mean, look at the stones are
old.
still pretty,
It was old
Solid.
when I was a kid.
yeah. That was just a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
I knew that.
It's a nice day today, though.
It's turned out okay. We thought it was going to rain this morning, but we,
You get a good clear view of the woods
We
without, when you don't have the sun with the shadows and things like that, which makes, a cloudy day kind of nice to be out, as long as you're not getting rained upon.
or skeetered on.
Yeah, skeetered upon.
Oh, look,
Twig.
a divining rod.
Divining.
Look at that. Doesn't it look like a divining rod? Think we could find water?
Right here.
Yeah, yeah, right
Plenty
here.
of water. There's a big one right down the street.
Oh, gee. Well, that was an interesting story. Could you tell us about the blueberries again?
Well, to our left, there's a bunch of rolling hills, and the power lines run along the hills. And when they originally cleared them, they allowed the blueberries to flourish.
Oh.
So my brothers and I would come up here and pick a gallon.
Yeah.
It was crazy. There's a lot of blueberries.
Now, did you make jam with it or jelly?
We gave them to my aunts and grandmothers,
And they did it.
they did it.
I know. I grew up in Hilltop, and on Hilltop, my grandmother was here. My aunt and uncle were in the middle. That was my grandmother's sister, and then we were there. But my aunt had this big tree in her yard, and the grapevines used to
Oh yeah,
go up into the tree.
yeah. Concord grapes.
So I used to climb the tree, and she'd hoist up a bucket, and I'd put all the grapes in a bucket, lower the bucket. She'd take the bucket, and her and my grandmother would go make grape jam. Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That was very interesting, very informative. These trails are so nice. People really have to come and enjoy these as much as we do, presenting it to the folks at home, So, Karen, tell me, how can anyone reach the Open Space Committee?
So Open Space Committee has a Facebook page, Dracut Open Space Committee, and we also have a page on the Town of Dracut website. And on that page, we have our maps and our guide. Mm-hmm. See this guide? We have this.
Just sort of like Dana.
Yes. This shows all the trails in town, the ones the Open Space Committee has worked on and other groups. This is also, I believe, at the library for somebody who
just gonna
wants
ask
a hard copy, but it is also at Town Hall too. And obviously you can print it off of the website. And if you have not yet gone on our Open Space Committee Facebook page and liked it, please do so.
Okay,
So what do you think, Bob?
I don't know. I carry the camera. Was it? What are
Okay,
mosquitoes?
Yeah, they liked my hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start over here. Don't move.
All right, Bruce Cody.
Tom Corbin.
Donna Corbin.
Dave Sutherland.
Karen Merrill.
Okay, Corey,
Bob Corey. They see me now.
they do see you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for joining us. We hope you come over and visit this trail. And what is it we say? Start walking.
Happy trails to you.
And Bob always sings Happy Trails at the
Yes.
end. So
Yes.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you.